Hey guys, thanks as always for watching and listening to another episode of Happy, Sad, Confused. My guest today is an accomplished actress, singer, model, basically my genetic twin. I'm so thrilled to have Daisy Jones and the Six Star Suki Waterhouse on Happy, Sad, Confused.
What an embarrassing intro.
This is very exciting.
No, she attempt all the things, but I'm very happy to be here.
An A for effort and an A for expertise. Remember to do all things like subscribe so you can check out this conversation, and we'll get off to the races. Suki, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, it's so nice to be here. You know what? I haven't really done that many. I did my first podcast yesterday. I did one yesterday.
Okay, so you got
and it was actually only 20 minutes long. It was very quick because I was late, and then she had to leave. So I'm very happy to be here.
There's gonna be laughter. There's gonna be tears. Emotional breakthroughs.
I hope so. I think so. Epiphanies.
I feel like we've been circling each other because I know people in your orbit. I know Sam Claflin. I know Riley. I know Rob. So like I feel like this has been a long time coming, and I'm so excited it's at this moment now because the energy's out there. I mean, you're feeling the love right now, right? For Daisy Jones?
Oh my goodness. I mean, yes, definitely. I mean, I just can't believe it's 2 days until it finally comes out. It's been 3 years in the making. Feels like there's so much excitement around the show, which is always a really nice thing when you feel like, there's
all
that
the effort is actually they're ready to receive it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so like we have no real history of chatting. I do remember we chatted very briefly. It was probably a very memorable moment for you on the carpet for Insurgent, and it occurs to me that was probably like your first, experience with a fan base. Like this is a much different kind of fan base, obviously. Yeah. But do you remember, like, look, obviously it was a small role in a different kind of thing. It was a
very small role. I basically fall off a building and die very quickly, but it was
you nailed it. You did it so well.
That was one of the first movies I think I did. Like probably one of the first ones. My first movie, actually, you were mentioning Sam, was with
Love
Sam.
Rosie, right?
Was with Sam Claflin about 10 years ago now, and Lily Collins. That was the first movie that I ever did. I remember. I went to that was kind of how I got an agent, and right at the beginning.
So where was your headspace at in the Love Rosie days and Insurgents? Like on a film set. Were you comfortable yet? Were you still kind of like, oh no?
No way. I was I think I was quite reserved. Maybe not off camera, but
but once the camera turned on, deer in the headlights. Oh my God.
Reserved. No, but I think I was very much just in the space of just watching all the actors around me. I remember being I hadn't been on a film set before, so watching Sam and Lily act together and just kind of being like looking around and seeing watching how everyone behaves on a film set and like the right things to do and the wrong things to do.
What are the wrong things to do?
Well, actually, no, I remember there were other
spontaneous screaming and crying and
just kind of like I think I actually had very good examples in Sam and Lily, both A-star. Right. They were incredibly kind to everybody and professional and also really fun.
This helps.
So, yes.
It's a job, but if we're not having fun, what's the point?
Yeah.
And it does seem, look, again, I've talked to a lot of different casts over the years, and it's always like, we're a family, blah, blah, blah.
We're a family. Oh, we love each other so much.
I detect
it's all lies.
Authenticity in
it's
this
lies.
one. Wait, why is she alone now? What happened?
We're all like friends, and then afterwards we're just like, who?
Yeah, the camera turns off.
Yeah.
For separate ways. No, I mean, it truly seems like you guys, like for a variety of reasons, for the length of time, the on-off probably start schedule, the nature of the project. I mean, has this felt like a very unique kind of bonding exercise? And when did you realize it was going to be that sort of experience, you think?
I mean, this project was quite unique in the way that when we were auditioning, there was actually like this. I remember when I got the part, I was so excited, but there was also this massive amount of pressure that they put on us and very much let us know that it was incredibly serious about how much music that we needed to do, and how much rehearsal we needed to do, which really like doesn't happen that much anymore. I feel like back in the 70s or back in the day, like sometimes people would rehearse for like a year, because it would be like a studio movie, like you're on a contract and like this is what you're doing for a long amount of time. But you know, now usually you don't get that much rehearsal time, like maybe 2 weeks. And actually we didn't have any rehearsal time for the acting part because the music part was so huge. And then suddenly we were like, oh my goodness, we start actually shooting in 2 weeks, and everyone was like, oh my god, you know, it was actually, we were a little bit overwhelmed by that. But the part for the music was huge, and we knew that was going to be you know, like three hours a day at Sound City Studios for months, and then it ended up being we ended up doubling that and doing it again because we had this big break in the middle for the pandemic. So we did like 6 months in total, going every single day.
Crazy.
So I think I knew when that, you know, when we kind of understood the vastness of that, you understood that you were going to be hanging out with everyone a lot, and also just being really bad together.
I was going to say, you all probably feel like you're out on a limb. Like, obviously you have musical chops, you have experience, and there are varying degrees in that cast. But like, you know, for Riley to finally like kind of like embrace that side of her, and some of the cast members, like, wait, like I could look like an idiot if this doesn't work.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that was basically all of it. We were all very comfortable feeling like idiots, to be honest.
You got to work through that.
Yeah. That was really where all the fun part came in. And actually, Riley's amazing because she doesn't. She didn't come in with anything like, oh, I should be like amazing. Right. She was like, but you know, she came in with such a goofy, like carefree, humorous attitude, which is one of the things I just really love about her. She's just like, she's always up for being silly and kind of, and just very much herself, and she's never apologetic, but she did come in and it was like, oh yeah, you can really sing. Like you can really
we don't have
sing.
To worry about that part.
Yeah, you can really sing, and also just like, you know, I think when you're portraying a rock star, it's all about like how you style, like the kind of like what's your style of rock star, and she just had it in bucket loads from the start.
Have you found that lines have bored? I've gone through this over the last few years with the cast and the characters. Like, do you all play roles within the dynamic? Does that dynamic mirror at all what was on screen?
Definitely 100%. I mean, Warren, who plays the drummer, like Sebastian, you know, Sebastian, like we were all very involved. Like Sebastian was like, you know, I don't want to be wearing a shirt most of the time, like even if it's freezing cold. But you know, they're not that's kind of, he does wear clothes.
Well, that's like your quirk. Like, you know, I'm just not going to wear shirts anymore.
But no, there definitely is, actually. I think Cami, who plays Camilla, they have a lot of similarities. A kind of innocence and a kind of I think Cami had this like huge undertaking to be someone like very bright, and just like, you know, you fall in love with her and you just adore her, and she has that kind of like that innocence and also tenacity in real life too. And I think actually it's interesting. I think we can safely say, especially as we've kind of grown up with these characters over the last 3 years, like I definitely feel like they bled into our lives, and they also taught us a lot. Cami talks about that too, about kind of understanding that life is more grey than black and white. You know, she has this huge arc in her thing. And I think for me, I was playing a woman who is very much a musician and is incredibly passionate about her hopes and dreams and creating the life that she wants to build. And I think Karen bled into my life very much, actually. Like, I think, I don't know if I would have had the guts to finally make my record, like outside of the project, if it hadn't have been for her.
Well, I'm curious about like the line between performing in a project and acting in character while performing in a project, right? Because like
it's tough
because there's a whole nother layer to worry about. It's like, wait, I can't just worry about the music, playing the keyboard, doing whatever. I actually have to be Karen while I'm doing this.
Well, that's why they wanted us. I think that's why they wanted us to rehearse so much. I think like the fact that we knew the music so well actually allowed us to be completely free when we were acting.
Yeah.
And you know, there are scenes in Daisy Jones where Riley and Sam's chemistry is so intense, and that, you know, everything's falling apart, and I would kind of be, you know, so taken by that, but just behind the keyboards watching it, that that if I didn't know the music really well, then you know, even that it was very distracting. Kind of, you're thinking, are we going to get through the show? Are they going to is someone going to storm off? Like, you're kind of waiting for you feel all this intensity actually, which is part of like their very intense chemistry that they have. But yeah, thank God we knew the instruments well before we went into that.
I want to talk to you guys about performance apparel and our sponsor this week, VUORI. Because guys, I have become so sick and tired of the traditional old workout gear. It's not comfortable, it's not functional, it doesn't look good. That's where VUORI comes into play. Everything is designed to work out in, but it doesn't look or feel like it. It's so comfortable. I guarantee it's more comfortable than whatever you're wearing right now. Plus, it's versatile. It works with any activity, running, training, swimming, yoga, whatever you do, VUORI works for you. And VUORI is 100% offsetting their carbon footprint. I love that about this company. They are also reducing and offsetting 100% of their plastic footprint from 2019 and beyond. They're utilizing better sustainable materials for their products, empowering your best active life. And again, guys, it's versatile. It's comfortable. It's designed to look great in your everyday life. Yes, outside the gym, this stuff looks amazing on you. So get in on it right now. This is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, VUORI is offering 20% off your first purchase. That's right. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at VUORI.com/HSC. That's VUORI.com/HSC. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to VUORI.com/HSC and discover the versatility of VUORI clothing. I'm curious, like now at this stage where it's like it's starting to come out and people are starting to receive it, and like you're feeling the fan base, you're feeling kind of like the obsessive excitement about it. Is this where the pressure, quote unquote pressure, kicks in, where like you start to think about that? Because I would imagine when you're in production, you have enough to worry about that you're not going to worry about like pleasing the fans. You have to just honor the material and the director and the writers. Does it feel like now, I don't know, is there a different level of just like anxiety or excitement now that the fans are getting a chance to see what you've done?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, I think from the beginning there was a little bit of that at the beginning, but then you start shooting the show and you kind of forget about it. I mean, you have this amazing material, you have this story, and of course you want to make the fans proud with your depiction of the character, but you also have to kind of like throw it all away and bring your whole self to it.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that even this week, just like little surprises, like Karen's British in the show, and like little things that people didn't realize. But this book has lived in people's hearts so much, and it's lived in our hearts for like the last 3 years. So like, yeah, you definitely start getting a little bit more nervous that, when it starts, it kind of like on the countdown to Friday when it comes out, you know that you guys did everything that you could, and you just hope that the fans love it as much as you do.
Have you had that on the other side of it? I mean, we all do. Like, have you like loved a book, loved a property, and then been like, oh, I hope they don't screw it up? Like, what is that for you? What is the Daisy Jones and the Six for you that in your life you've been obsessed with and excited to see interpreted?
Oh, I can't think of a book actually right now that I've. What are some good ones that I'm trying to think of what we've. What's been a book, and then, I mean, actually, I don't want to say Insurgent.
The Divergent conversation's a whole nother conversation.
I can't even think right now of what.
Well, that's okay. I mean, just more broadly speaking, what were you into as a kid? Like, were you?
I was really into those Alex Pettyfer movies.
Oh, really?
Do you remember?
Yeah, sure.
That was a book actually.
Yes,
that
it was.
went into a movie, and I love the movies.
Okay.
But I really love the books.
Okay.
But Alex Pettyfer, like he definitely, when I was like 13, that definitely translated for me.
Got it.
I was
that worked.
That made me very happy. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what those books were called. Who they were by.
I know.
It was so good.
Alex was it? That's not the Alex Rider series, was it? No,
I'm
that's
not
something.
sure. I remember I really loved Mallory Blackman as well as a kid.
Okay.
A book called Noughts and Crosses.
Okay.
That was something I was really into.
Were you into at all fantasy at all? Were you a Harry Potter kid?
Oh,
Were
I
you
was
a-
definitely a Harry Potter kid.
Were you?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was also, I remember when you were English and like 12 or 13 or actually like 11, if you were an English kid in school, the search, they came everywhere.
Right.
They came everywhere looking for Hermione, for Harry, like that no one was safe. Like you were gonna, there was
Wait, were you
literally
a-
just
were-
like
I'm trying to do the
Harry
math.
Potter scouts in like your netball class, like your every single drama group that you were part of, everybody.
Were you
everybody.
age appropriate? I'm trying to do the math now. Could you?
I
have-
kind of was age appropriate actually. I was never, obviously I don't even, but
You didn't get the audition. You didn't get the talent scout.
I didn't get the audition. I feel like the Harry Potter scouts like probably had the yearbooks, like they had everything. They knew where to look. But there were definitely people around searching. It was everywhere. So I think I remember me and my best friend going to see the movie when we were like 11 and being like, we were kind of like, let's see who this Hermione is, and then we were like, okay, she fits.
Never did the like dress out as Hermione for Halloween. Daydream about Hermione.
I don't think I dressed as Hermione for Halloween, but yeah, I think I was a similar age to kind of like the 11-year-olds at the time when it came out.
Amazing.
And actually, I remember I was huge Harry Potter.
Yeah, I would
fan.
imagine if you're 11 in especially where you grew up and you weren't into Harry Potter, that's like the ultimate rebellion. That's like, whoa, that kid.
Yeah,
What's
I
up
mean,
with that kid?
that was just like a way that all of us were reading in a way that we never
Sure.
had before. There's ginormous books.
Yeah.
There is no, can't think of when I read a book last
that's
that
like
is that
700
big.
pages.
Yes.
That's amazing. I know.
I mean, it's an incredible thing for like our literary skills.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about background in terms of like the trajectory of the career. So like from what I gather, talent scattered at about like 16, and that's when the modeling started to happen.
I think I was a bit younger actually. I think I was about 14.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
okay.
No. Sorry. I think I was about 15.
So what's your attitude back then? What's the family's attitude about it? Is it like, oh, this will be fun. Let's see where this goes. Is this a real thing? Is this a career? Is it just another, like, what was it at the time to you?
I don't think my family were that. I think I'd actually. I think I was quite an angry teenager and quite difficult. I was kind of. I think I struggled in secondary school quite a lot to, like, find. I wasn't really. I didn't really feel like I had.
You hadn't found your group.
I didn't
your
really have a
niche,
place.
yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I'd sort of. I think probably like what propelled me into it was like. Yeah, I'd had like a sort of like falling out at school with a girl that kind of I really was holding a grudge.
Oh no.
Um,
Where's
this
she
is
now?
like I'm really going back into
Yeah.
like you
Do
really
you
want to
wanna name
know
her? You
the
wanna call her out?
nitty gritty of why like how I started
What broke
my
you?
career. Everything's a revenge. Everything's
It all
just a
goes back to
revenge.
high
It all goes
school,
back
or-
to high school. But it made me. I think that like I guess I kind of had a I kind of wanted out of like I wasn't like, oh, I just love being in high
Yeah.
school. I can't wait to go to university. I think it was I lived in Chiswick. And it's kind of on the like slight suburbs of London. Still in London, can still get there in like half an hour on the bus.
Got it.
But I was dreaming of more.
And you found more. So
Yeah.
and what when you think back to those first years, were they? I mean, is it a trip to
They
think
weren't
about?
particularly successful.
They weren't, actually.
No,
At first
not
it
at all.
wasn't. Oh.
No. And it wasn't like I walked out the door and it was suddenly like da da. No, I remember. Yeah, I got scouted, and then that it was it wasn't like it was actually kind of difficult those first few years. Like, I mean, the difference of say like when I kind of do a branding thing now or like a modeling thing to like kind of back then, it's actually been really fascinating to see like the changes over like 10, 15 years, like, you know, and actually experience what it's like to be like completely like, you know, a 16-year-old doing it in a time where like nobody really gave a shit about you whatsoever, or like what you had to say or anything. Like you were,
it must be such a trip to think back, because things have changed so quickly.
They've changed so much. Yeah.
And I mean, look, it's not all perfect, obviously, but to think about any 15, 16-year-old, particularly a young woman, and you're in a way kind of the most powerful person on that set. Like, I mean, they need you. It's about you.
Oh, you're not the most powerful person on that set. No.
Well, I guess that's what I'm saying, is like, you don't realize your own agency and voice, and they don't value you.
You
in
also
a way.
don't really have one, because it's if you did have something to say, like I remember, I mean, modeling is an incredibly it's an ununionized industry.
Right.
So it's like if you're an actor and something goes wrong, or there's something, even if they're working you too long or whatever. I've never done this, but you can call SAG and do something, or if you have an accident or anything like that. That just doesn't exist in modeling. Like it's
no rules. It feels
no,
like
no,
it's
no. There's no rules. There's no rules about getting paid. There's no rules. There's no kind of like safety measures in place. Like it's really, and if you did ever have an issue with anything, like actually it was incredibly like you don't want to do it. There's someone right behind you. I mean, there's so many girls. So if you caused any problems, like you just be out. So it was, like to watch kind of like the agency that I hope younger women in that industry hopefully have more of. I wouldn't say completely, because it still is ununionized and difficult, but it's been very fascinating to watch that over the first few years. But yeah, there's a bit to go back, I guess, like that those times were exciting, and also just like a ton of castings. You'd have an A to Z. I'm not the tallest girl in the world, so I would have ginormous, I would always have, try and have like a long trouser and ginormous heels. And I'd always be like, kind of hiding from the agency, because, they'd be like coming at me with a tape measure or trying to measure my thighs and tell me to lose weight. It's all that kind of stuff that you imagine.
Expect,
yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But it was also, it also kind of got me, it got me working. And that was like such an exciting thing. And it got me, I didn't have to go to college. So.
Got out of that one. Miss other young women that tortured you, like your friend in high school.
Well, I kind of stopped, and then actually that, and then it kind of at about 2021, I got a Burberry contract, which was.
And that was a turning point.
That was a turning point, and that happened in quite a strange way. I was actually like, I think I was in the gym or something, and the creative director saw me in the gym. And one thing that was quite cool about back then is you didn't have like Instagram, you didn't have a number over your head.
Right.
So it was kind of like more about, it was more kind of like sort of like a friendship, or like a, like I think we like had a great chat and enjoyed each other, and I came in and it was kind of about, it was quite a lot to do with like energy, and especially that kind of Christopher Bailey era, when he was at Burberry. So that was like a first kind of bigger moment for me.
Is it just me, or in this time of year is everybody talking about making these giant changes to their lives, as if we're all going to just change overnight into a different person? For me, it's not about the giant change, it's about the small stuff, and the small stuff that can impact your day-to-day. And for me, that's where earbuds come in. That's where Raycon, our sponsor, comes into play, because with Raycon, you're getting premium audio at the perfect price point, so you can build great habits without breaking the bank. They give you everything you want, at least I want, in an earbud. They have crystal clear call quality, and you need that. I need that. I don't want calls breaking up while I'm talking or running. They are water and sweat resistant, because, guys, I sweat when I run. They give you 8 hours of playtime for everyday earbuds, or 11 hours for the everyday speaker. So you're going to get the maximum amount of time with your device without having to recharge it constantly. Plus, they look great, they feel great, they sound great. They are everything you guys need and want in an earbud. Are you ready to buy something small with a big impact? Go to buyraycon.com/HSC today to get 15% off your Raycon order. That's buyraycon.com/HSC to score 15% off. buyraycon.com/HSC. we talked about some of the early acting gigs. Did you feel like, I mean, how long has it taken you to kind of feel confident in your own skin acting? Like, because this is a turning point. This kind of role in this kind of a project with this company of actors, this must feel like a transitional point to you, does it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always, I didn't have, I did a lot of theatre when I was younger, and a lot of like training on the weekends, and I've been to a lot of classes and involved myself in workshops and all that kind of stuff. But I don't have the years in drama school and some people don't. I mean, so many of my favorite actors.
There's no right way to do it.
There's also definitely a world where I see, like, I think sometimes that can kind of mess you up quite a lot as well.
Yes.
But I guess like everything that I've learned really is from watching people on set. I mean, always just kind of like I've been really, really lucky to work with incredible actors. I mean, like the first like main, kind of like the first movie where I like led the movie The Bad Batch with Lily Amirpour, I got to be around, Keanu Reeves and Jim Carrey and Jason Momoa, like shirtless on a motorbike, but that's separate.
It's a long-term story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's always been a place where I've learned to feel comfortable, actually.
Well, because it's a twofold thing, right? Because it's like proving to yourself and proving to others, and that can be equally challenging in a way to like feel like, because there still is, I'm sure, the stigma of someone that comes from another field and then seemingly it's like
that stuff is never going to go away. But you know what? Don't we all feel like that in some way? Like we all have kind of like we all have some kind of hoop that we're all trying to jump through. I kind of enjoy that, to be honest.
It gives you something keeps you motivated. Like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you, I've got the goods.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
show you what I can do.
I think every actor. I mean, even I know from kind of like personal, friendships or relationships or whatever. I know that it doesn't. That doesn't really go away for anybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how.
Oh no, I mean, this constantly comes up. Like the imposter syndrome conversation is always there with everybody, with the best human beings on the planet, and like you said, it's kind of the internal driving force, I think, for a lot of people.
I mean, my dad's a surgeon, and I remember when I was really struggling with imposter syndrome there's that deep fear in all of us, right? There's like that thing. But I remember talking to my dad about it, and he was like, he's a surgeon, and he was like, I still feel like his parents had a fish and chip shop, and he grew up in the, outside of London, and he never, it was beyond his wildest dreams. No one gone to university. No one, the idea that he would become a surgeon who, cuts people open all day and does these insane operations and reconstructs people's faces. And he said, I still feel like somebody's just going to come and tap me on the shoulder and be like, what the are you doing here?
You should be working at a fish and chip shop, not cutting my
yeah. And I was like, that's so interesting, because you've studied, you literally have studied for this for 10 years, and you're considered like one of the best at this job, and you still have that feeling. It's kind of remarkable when you think of that, and I think that's kind of that's kind of helped me as I've grown up and met so many people, and you meet so many people that you appreciate and admire too, and you just realize that everybody's walking around, everybody's fucked up.
It's all the facade. Inside, we're all dying. We're all feeling like we shouldn't be here. How are you in auditions? Do you enjoy them on a masochistic level? Have you figured out the way to feel comfortable in them? When I say an audition,
I really miss going in the room. Because it's changed.
Right now it's all Zoom
now it seems to be now it's a lot of tapes and I miss going in the room, because that kind of anticipation and only being allowed to do it once or twice.
Right.
And then when you tape, you can just drive yourself absolutely insane.
Try it again.
Drive yourself absolutely insane. I mean, there have been jobs that I've tried to book I have booked or I haven't booked, but if I'm given the chance to do a tape, it will just spiral out of control because it will just be me with like a camcorder and a tripod. I remember one time there was a movie I really wanted to get in New York, and it was kind of Thanksgiving time, and I was just going to anybody that I knew that could help me, that could maybe add something different or give me a different kind of critique, just for like a whole week. I posted up here and didn't leave until I felt like I had something, and I did get the part, but it was I think I sent in like 10 different versions.
It's like a different wig in every
just
one.
Different
You're
lighting. I'm like, and then they're like, can you look younger? And I'm just like in Target trying to, just driving myself absolutely insane. But I don't know if I don't know if I feel like I've managed to feel like, oh yeah, I've nailed that every time. It's like, it's so distressing when when you're just watching yourself back, and you're watching yourself back act, and you just you have to get as close as you possibly can to feeling like that you've captured some kind of essence of the character and brought your whole self into it.
Easy, super easy.
Easy, right?
How many superhero auditions have you subjected yourself to? Every actor has to do it now.
I think I did one. Does the Ryan Reynolds movies with what's it called? Deadpool. Yeah. Is that a superhero movie? Yeah. I remember doing that. I did a couple of auditions.
Did you do like
for
the
that.
domino part?
I think I did domino, and actually I had a bit of a. I remember I went back for a callback for that, and I bought a fake gun with me because I had to put it up to someone's head, and then my bag got searched on the lot of the studio, and they took it away.
You're like, I'm
which
here
really
for Deadpool.
threw me off.
Yeah. So besides that, did the audition go well? Did you feel like you actually were?
I think it went pretty good. I didn't get the role though. So, but you know what? It's always, whenever you get a callback and you can go in and be in the room, and even, I always think like, my sister's an actor too, and she's just done this Apple show, which is going to be great, I think, and an amazing role for her. But she kept the year before that, she just kept getting nearly there, right. Nearly booking, and I was saying to her, that's just unbelievable in itself. If you're almost there, or if you get the call back, then it's coming
as much as you possibly can, and so much of it is out of your control. Who knows what the criteria is, and who the other actor is they want you to play against.
Exactly. It's always difficult when someone says like, what do you want to do next? What's the dream role? And it's like, we're at the mercy of so many things.
Yes, there are like 3 actors that can determine their path.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Leonardo
one else
DiCaprio, Tom Cruise.
gets offered every single thing and has done for the last 20 years. There's no one else. I think Christian Bale's talked about that recently. Yeah. There's no role that he doesn't get offered. He just has like a stack of scripts, and he's like, maybe I'll.
No, I mean, I talk to actors about this all the time. It's like he figured it out. Yeah. He lucked it. Not luck. I mean, look, obviously he's insanely talented, but he is like, he doesn't have to do a superhero movie. He just works with Scorsese and the best filmmaker, and he's like, good. Yeah,
just pretty much only Scorsese. It's like,
I mean, that's a good rule of thumb. Yeah. If I was Leo, I would do that too.
But yeah, no, yeah. So I guess what there's that, and then there's booking something or being offered something, and then there's kind of like determining whether or not it's right for you. But a lot of the time it's some kind of like magic trick that happens where you're like, oh, I really want to do this, and they want me.
And then it's the other element of like, oh wait, then it actually has to be a good thing, and like everything has to click, and it has to get a good release pattern, and it's like so much is like, you can only control so much.
Yeah, I mean, like acting is really like there's so much out of your control. Yeah. It's very different to music, and that,
Is that part of why music has become also like a...
I really appreciate both things, to be honest, because I think, getting hired to be an actor is... You're part of such a huge you're part of such a huge group of people. You're for hire. You're a piece of the puzzle, and it's
beautiful when that's working.
And that's beautiful, by the way. There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's some of the most rewarding moments I've ever had in my life. Like being part of the cast and the crew, and just like the magic of making it all happen. But yeah, music is something that you can go and work on and make instantly. You don't have to wait you don't have to wait for anyone to
put up the money, get the place, make it
well
all happen.
that yeah,
you need a studio space. You need a little something.
Yeah, you need some if you want to put out
That's fair.
put out a record or go on tour. But that's basically, I mean, the record industry is insane. I'm learning, and there is no money. It's just you spending money. So,
wait, before we get off the superhero topic, Rob did rat you out. Is it true that you cried watching the Batman? He said, I did, of course. Is that just because you were feeling empathy for his suffering in the costume?
Yeah, I think it was no. I think it was the scene at the end of it was the scene where he's helping actually the extra was this woman that played the. Do you remember? She's
in the water, like at the end?
There's a really amazing role with a part where actually she was an extra, but she just steals the scene and is incredible. And I was watching that scene with them together, and
the music's kicking.
And I also just thought he was, I was just kind of blown away.
Now, do you,
maybe there were tears of happiness when you're with someone for months and months and months, and they're coming home with like black makeup all down them every day, and like kind of they're just like and you're just like maybe tears of joy being like the movie's good, it's amazing.
Do you run lines with each other for each other's roles? Like, have you played Commissioner Gordon and Catwoman to help Rob out?
I don't know if I should say. Yeah, I have. Yeah.
There's an alternate version of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, of course, that you're trying to learn lines the night before you go. Everyone gets. You have to run lines a lot, but he. I love it when he helps me actually.
So okay, back to Daisy Jones as we kind of come full circle. There's all this talk and hope, I feel like, from the fans, and I don't know how much this is real. Like, do you imagine you guys actually performing for the public, like doing some kind of like mini tour? Is that feasible? Is it possible?
I really think it is feasible, and it was potentially going to happen. And then I think there's that. Yeah, I think it's been difficult to make happen. Just kind of everyone's like lives and things going on in their lives. And then I guess like scheduling us all back. I mean, we were like, I think Will, who plays Graham in the show, this was his first job, and then since then he's just been booked and busy. He's doing a play right now, like straight out of college, just booked everything and is working. He's just unbelievable. But I think that is a world where this could happen. I mean, I think we owe it to ourselves to actually do a live performance. Yeah. We might need to brush up a little bit. We might need to brush up. It's like those songs were so in my head, like the piano parts are like ingrained into the deepest part of my soul. But we might need a little brushing up. But I feel like yes. I feel like we have to.
For most of us, learning a second language in high school or college was not exactly a high point in our academic careers. I know it wasn't for me. I tried Italian, I tried French, and none of it stuck. But now, thanks to Babbel, the language learning app that sold more than 10 million subscriptions, there's an addictively fun and easy way to learn a new language. Whether you'll be traveling abroad, connecting in a deeper way with family, or you just have some free time, Babbel teaches bite-sized language lessons that you'll actually use in the real world. I'm doing Italian because I love to travel and I love going to Italy, and I want to engage the culture in a little bit of a more profound and meaningful way. And yeah, I want to be able to order better in Italian restaurants, okay? Babbel's 15-minute lessons make it the perfect way to learn a new lesson and language on the go. Other language learning apps use AI for their lesson plans, but Babbel lessons were created by over 100 language experts. Plus, you can choose from over 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. There's so many ways to learn with Babbel. They've got lessons that you can access, podcasts, games, videos, stories, and even live classes. Plus, it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. Right now, when you purchase a 3-month Babbel subscription, you'll get an additional 3 months for free, guys. That's 6 months for the price of 3. Just go to Babbel.com and use promo code HSC. That's BABBEL.com, code HSC. Is this a karaoke group? Is it unfair when like you're a professional and you karaoke as well? Like, do you feel like I feel like I've never karaokeed. It's just not in my bones. But I feel like if I saw you, a professional, or someone at the karaoke place, I'd be like, well, that's not fair. That's not cool. They should let the amateurs do it.
Well, are we going to karaoke these songs? Do you mean?
Just generally speaking,
I hope so.
Are you a karaoke?
Am I a
group?
karaoke person?
Yeah, are you a karaoke person?
I am a karaoke person,
Okay.
100%. Yeah, I'm like an Alanis Morissette kind of karaoke
go-to?
person, like a Cranberries karaoke person. I'm definitely. I haven't been karaokeing very much. I hope these songs will make their way into the karaoke sphere.
Canon of karaoke.
100%. That would that's really like the
goal.
ultimate goal.
Yes.
Is the ultimate goal. If we can get this Aurora album into if people love it enough to karaoke, then we've made it.
Have you had one surreal karaoke experience in your life that you can cite? I'm sure you have karaokeed with some interesting folks. Have you been in a room with someone and been like, I can't believe
I haven't karaokeed with I can't think of a karaoke one, but I have been to some pretty wild like game nights.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like a game night, where you have to like wink and kill people, but with like Al Pacino and Quentin Tarantino and like because like I can't even go on, like that kind of stuff where you're just like, oh, this is wild and so competitive. And
who's the most competitive? Who got into it the most?
It was I think Penelope and Javier were like screaming at each other at one point. She's like, I don't believe you if you're not my husband, if you're the killer. Like just like really, really intense. And you're like, oh my God, she's going to actually kill him if he is the killer. But he wasn't. He wasn't.
Which is spoiler. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
like, am I tripping? What's happening? Is this real? Are you actually in the room with me?
Yeah.
So going forward, you're going to do the press tour. You're going to finish this. Does this give you like a new kind of like, I don't know, do you feel like you've leveled up? Like now, like the next time you're on a film set, it's like, yeah, I kind of like, I've checked something off the bucket list and I can now kind of bring more of myself to a role.
I mean, I think I learned so much from doing this role and working with everybody for so long. I don't know if I feel like I would have leveled up. I'm always very, I think I know myself well enough to be like, anything that you do next, I'll be equally as terrified. And hopefully a little bit, hopefully every project that you do, you take something away from it and you become more confident next time that you're on set.
Do you watch a lot, TV and film? Like, do you consume a lot?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so give me a little bit of like, what's...
I mean, I'm obsessed with Succession. That's just like, I'm obsessed with The White Lotus. Like, that's really like... That's really
season
like
one or
my
season
kind of
two,
both.
No, they're both
I
great.
really thought they were both great.
Yeah.
Like they were both like the fact that they managed to that Mike White managed to make 2 incredible seasons. It's just like, how did he do that? He just went on holiday and made another amazing episode.
He's cracked the code.
He
Great
really
place
has.
to go to.
I just
It was an
obsessed.
amazing new ensemble each time.
Yeah, Megan Faye. Oh, obsessed. I'm just obsessed with all of them.
What are 3 films you've seen more than any other in your life? The 3 films that define Suki Waterhouse.
I've probably seen quite a few Dane Cook movies. Isn't that weird? I was watching one have you seen My Best Friend's Girl?
Yes, I think
I weirdly have seen that movie so many times.
Wow.
It's so
Not
dated.
recently, not like
I
the
actually
last
was
year.
watching it. Yeah, I was watching it quite recently.
What?
Yeah. They're so dated and everything's so off, like from what we're used to now, that it kind of feels like you're in like a different vortex.
I did not have you pegged as a Dane Cook super
What
fan.
did I watch? I was watching no. He doesn't really get enough credit though. He actually was kind of ahead of his time.
He was in a lot of respects.
Yeah.
He was. He wasn't even like huge
This
on
is so random.
MySpace and like.
This is so random.
Okay, all the Dane Cook work.
I think I've watched every Frances McDormand movie. I was watching one recently. My Friends with Money. Have you ever seen that?
Nicole Hoff Center.
Yeah. And just any Julia Roberts movie. I've watched all of them. There's not one that I haven't watched. I'm obsessed.
My Best Friend's Wedding, not a classics.
Yes.
Like, yeah. No, I'm not saying that facetiously.
I just love. I don't know. If I'm ever like feeling nervous about like a scene the next day that I have to shoot, I'll just watch a Julia Roberts movie and then try and emulate her.
What would Julia do?
And then everyone's like, that was good, and I'm like, thanks.
Really give the credit to Julia. I gave it level 6 Julia, just so you know.
No, I'll just watch her and just imagine what it's like to be her, and it's worked for me multiple times.
Do you find that quotes work their way into your vernacular? Movie quotes, TV quotes? Like are you quoting Dane Cook in your day-to-day life?
No, I hope not. I hope not. If I want to stay uncancelled and unproblematic, then I do not. No.
Classic Cook from Suki.
I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I think the stuff that I end up watching at home is sometimes like I like putting on like I almost like putting on movies that like aren't necessarily like good.
Right.
You know?
I got you.
And that's like and
you have
like
to be in the right frame of mind to be like,
most
I'm going to watch
time,
a serious, important
I mean,
good
but then
movie.
there are the serious moments. Like watching Tar was very serious. Like we had to really like, you know, we went very serious for watching Tar, and I love that. I love that movie.
Yeah.
There's when Kate Blanchett, when you're watching Kate Blanchett, you have to really like
give her the time.
Yeah, you have to be very
effort.
serious. It's just like, oh my goodness, the queen of the universe, you know?
She is. She's on another level.
She's on another level. Yeah.
Totally. All right, we did it. We cracked open the mind of Suki Waterhouse. Oh, by the way,
Did we? I don't know.
How were the True Blood years? By the way, was that a nightmare when there were the supercuts of Suki everywhere?
People still think I am Suki Stackhouse. Like, there's a lot of confusion of whether or not I actually, if Suki Waterhouse is a restaurant, or
sounds like it'd be a great restaurant.
Yeah, it sounds like a great restaurant, or if I am Suki Stackhouse. And actually, we look kind of weirdly similar. So like, you could,
right.
You know, we're both like blonde, and you could get us mixed up. So
no.
Yeah, it's been rough. These years have been
persevered.
rough. Yeah, I persevered.
You got through it. The tough times are behind you. Daisy Jones and the Six is out. Everybody should check it out. It's really been a pleasure to get to know you. The show is fantastic, and I hope you get some rest. I mean, besides just the TV show, you're also like touring a bit right now too. For
yeah,
your own,
kind of a lot. Yeah,
it's a lot going on.
Yeah. I just finished my first headline tour on the 11th, and then the next day started press. So somehow someone must have figured out that was the right timing.
Well, you seem remarkably coherent for someone that busy.
Oh,
well
thank
done.
you.
You're masking it well.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.